Hello, AAIP members. So for this webinar today, what I wanted to focus on is the IDS AAIP Member Access Library. This is something that is really amazing for your membership, to be a member of the AIP and have access to this library, which is our years and years of material that we have come up with, organized in a way that starts out with a check sheet that tells you exactly what to watch first, what to do with the material, to help you watch it, you learn it, and you share it then with your team. So I wanted to take a few of these webinars and go over each one of these modules, the most popular modules that members ask us about, to show you how to navigate through it, use it, and that way having this perk or having this benefit as an AIP member, you can click onto this library whenever you want, and you can actually download this material, watch the material, go back to this material. You can share the access code with any of your staff and they can hop on it as well. I have a lot of members that the office manager is the one that runs all this. They hardly ever get onto the site. They don't watch much of it unless the office manager says, hey, I watched one last night. It's great. I think that you need to watch it because I want to share it with the staff during staff meeting, or I want to start training it. So if that's something that you are interested in doing, then just delegate someone to actually do this for you. If you haven't gotten the updated IDS AIP access code, I email those to you every month if they change. We do it just randomly here and there. We change it. And so for that, let me just hop to the site. So here you will see, this is our IDS AAIP member access library. So when you get on to the website, you will see we're asked you to put the access code in. Put the access code in there. If you can't remember yours, email me and I'll email you the updated code on that. For here, once you get into the protected content library, you can choose here whatever it is that you would like some solutions to, some training on. The Monday Morning Minutes is always my absolute favorite. These, I mean, you don't have time to not listen to these. It's like 3 to maybe 5 minutes on here of something very powerful, an idea, something that we just decided on, implemented in a single day, and they make a huge difference. So for this one, you can click on these Monday Morning Minutes. It comes here, Lee played, Danielle played, so it's all of mine, all of his, and if you scroll down here, you'll see millions of them in here, so tons and tons. We try to put a nice little quick label on them so you can see what it is, but they're neat because you can just click on them and listen, and it's really like 2, 3, 4 minutes or so, and you can listen to those on the way to work. You can listen to those in the waiting room. You can listen to those while you're waiting on a patient, and get some really neat ideas. If you hear something or see something that you like, then pass it on to the group. Today, what I wanted to focus on is the phone modules. This is one of the most popular ones that members are asking. How do I get my girls to answer the phone better? How do I get more new patients on my schedule? How do I get more acceptance? How do I, touch the people out there that don't know what it is I can do for them? It's answering the phone. That's where it all begins. It doesn't begin with marketing, because if you do marketing first, and then the girls don't really know how to answer the phone the best, you're going to waste your marketing dollars because you're not going to get the patients on the schedule. So when you go to the phone module here, when you click on that, scroll up to where you find phone modules here. And as you can see, there's a lot of different modules in here. So I don't want you to start, just clicking, because everything is kind of out of order, because it's hard to keep these in order. Once you click on them, they kind of change. So the very first thing I have on every single one of these modules is I have a read first check sheet. And when you read first check sheet on there, it's going to give you what this section is all about. And it's going to give you a step-by-step, 1 through how many modules they are, 19 here, steps on how to get through this folder of training the best, without skipping through, without getting confused. So as you see on here, the first one says print, review, and have near every phone the copies of the new patient call check sheets. This is a check sheet that is a guideline of what to say to the patients on the phone, how to get through barriers that they're asking you, and stay on track to keep control of that phone call. Those of you who have been a member for a while know that we do have patients that are referred from general dentists, but our biggest referral source is patients from directly off the street. That is a whole different kind of animal of patients. It is actually a patient that's worth 3 times the value of a patient that's been referred by a dentist, because these patients need a lot more work. Now, there's not one of you out there that won't argue these are a harder patient to get on your schedule, but it's also more valuable to have this patient on your schedule. You just have to know how to answer the phone for this patient. They're not a patient calling from their trusted dentist that knows what you're going to do, has already been prepped and prepared for what you're going to do, and they're ready to go on ahead and accept it, or they wouldn't be coming over in the first place. These are patients that have been out of dental care for a long time, 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, never been to the dentist because they're either afraid something bad happened, they're embarrassed, but you to get them through that past barrier and get them onto your schedule and in your door. Once you have them there, you're golden. So the first part of our training that we do with the IDS is getting through the new patient phone calls. This will get your staff through it. Now, if you don't have the time to do it, assign it to somebody, an office manager, an assistant, somebody who's really good at keeping the staff going, getting them on track. You can just hand them this check sheet and have them watch the stuff themselves. It flows, it works well. So they'll download that check sheet. They will also download the phone script. What do you say on the phone? How do you get through it? Then they'll go through the training videos, and I have 3 of the training videos on there. So they'll go through price barriers. How much are your implants? Insurance barriers. Do you take my insurance? And also the ones that are apprehensive to schedule. So you sat there on the phone for 10, 15 minutes, and then now they say, well, let me just think about it. So how to get through that. Then it will be the Jumpstart webinar. So a webinar on getting those new patients on the schedule. It'll be the 6th one here, getting the patient to schedule using emotions. So this one is big for the patient, direct to patient, because these are the patients that think that their case is the worst you've ever seen, so they're embarrassed. These are the patients that have been waiting for a long time to come see you because they've been raising kids or helping a sick husband. These are the patients that haven't smiled in years because they hate the way it looks, that haven't been able to order off the menu an item they love to eat because they're afraid of how it's going to look, or the denture falling out, or food getting stuck and they can't get it out. So this is what's going to help get through to those patients and say, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I get phone calls like this all the time. You took care of your kids for many, many years. Now it's your turn. Come on in. Our doctors are wonderful. Our staff is great. We are the best in this area. We're specialists. This is what we do every single day. Here are success stories. Here are the patients that have come and how we've turned around their lives. So you're using emotions to let them know, listen, don't worry. Give them hope that they're not the worst case. But that we can help them and they can have that smile, have that job, have those relationships, and get back into life again. The new patient call with the doctor. So this one goes over, why do we do a doctor phone call? Why do we have the doctors call them the day that they scheduled that new patient examination? What does it do? And all of you know, we are a working, practicing periodontal practice. If it doesn't work for us greatly, we're not going to teach it. This works for us greatly. To have these patients from off the street come in and go, I've never in my life had a dentist call me at my house and ask me what it is that I'm looking to do, ask me questions, talk to me. So it creates a good words type of thing where when that patient gets off the phone with you that evening, it took you 2, 3, 4 minutes to do this phone call. When they get off, they're calling their mom, they're calling their best friend, they're talking to their neighbors. Can you believe the dentist called me? So it sets a good word that you are different. You're a different kind of dentist that is going to help them, and you care enough to call them after hours. So this is a great thing. And please don't get discouraged by you're overwhelmed, you're overloaded, you're trying to get home because you can fit it in. Dr. Sheldon does the same thing. We do a webinar on the phone call, which will, really drive home what it does and why we do it. The demo doctor call so that you can listen to the doctor call and you can see how it really works. Also, some writings that Dr. Sheldon has on the phone call, different teleseminars. Now, some of these are older, but they're good. They're really, really good. So these are great to go on. Now, they're towards the bottom because it's a little bit older, but it still has just as good information. It's just not the videos on there. We have some demo real patient phone calls to share with you. And we also have the document on what separates us, because we want you to create that for yourself as well. And that what that goes over is how you're different, because patients don't know unless you tell them. They don't know that you're a periodontist, that you're a specialist, or even what that means unless you tell them. They don't know that you specialize with implants, that being a periodontist specializes in bone and gums, and you're best to put those implants in versus the general if you don't tell them. They don't know that how long you've gone to school, how many implants you've done. They don't know any of this stuff unless you have told them. So you create a sheet for them, which I'll show you in a little bit, that will show them why you're different. So when the other people come to them after they say, yeah, I'm in the appointment for this guy to look for, doing some dental implants, and them say, hey, why don't you go to my guy? I had dental implants done a few years ago. Go see him. He's great. And you don't want them to go, oh, okay, or see a commercial or see something online, because everyone nowadays it's a Google search world. So they are looking through, finding Google reviews, or finding specials, or finding they're calling around, finding out who's cheaper. Well, you gave them a quote for $2,000 and the guy down the street is giving a quote for $1,000. Why is it different? Well, he's general, he hasn't been doing it for very long, he doesn't guarantee his work. You guys actually see a lot of his catastrophic dentistry. So it's a way for you to put down on paper how you are different, and it's very tasteful, it's very professional. Also on here is the new revised new patient phone script, because for this one here, and it's at the bottom because it's something that we just started doing in our office. Once you get through doing it the standard way, it's a way of doing the new patient phone calls while screening the patient for your practice. It's a whole different level. So for us, we see primarily patients from off the street. They come from our magazine, they come from Google reviews, they come from our website, they come from internet search. These are all patients that are scared, apprehensive, that we have to really, really sell to. So we want to make sure, for us, we see up to 19 to 20 new patients per week. We don't want to see half of those are unqualified patients that on Medicaid, they are a very fixed income where they make like $700 a month. They don't have a job, they're on disability, where they can't afford your work. Not that they don't deserve to be seen and planned, but you don't want them to get upset when they get to your office and spend 2 hours in your chair to say, well, if I would have known that this cost $25,000, I never would have come in. So I've got to give them information on the phone, back that up with lots of value and reasons why they need to invest in themselves. And that is a way that you screen. So when these patients come in, for us, the way we've set this up, and it's actually brilliant. These patients that are coming in, we may only have 13 on the schedule now, but that's 13 ready, willing, and able patients to accept your plans of whatever it is they need, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $30,000, because we spent some time to go over what it is they need, where they are, their dental condition, and the value. When they come in, they're ready, they're excited, they're prepared. No shock, no upset, no, oh my goodness, I had no idea. None of that anymore. So that really does help with that. So on this, getting out of the check sheet, going back to this module center on here, then you can go through and you can see how they're numbered here. And as you can see, this one goes from 1 to 10. So it's already jumped around because we've added some new material. So you would go on number 1. And as you see here, this is the new patient check sheet. Every time the phone rings and it's a new patient phone call, I grab this right away. We all grab this right away. The date, the patient's name, the phone number, the address, because we want to send them a new patient packet. Yes, it's a digital world. Yes, you have it on your website. They can download it, whatever it is. still we send them a new patient packet because that tangible piece of material in their hand that has writings from you, a letter from you, a map to your office from you, an awesome looking magazine about your practice in there, all the stuff in there, that's good stuff. They can sit down, they can go through it. We have it in a big fat priority envelope. They have everything in there in a nice, beautiful folder with our pictures on it. They can look through and be impressed with your material. Also, it has what separates us, which I'll show you in a little bit. So it has all this great information in it. They get excited again to see you. So they're going to get that new patient packet after they've had the great new patient phone call, the doctor phone call that knocked them off their socks. And now they get this tangible packet in the mail. It always feels good to get mail because no one does that anymore. We have that. So it guides me to tell them about our new patient special. It guides me to ask them what their problems are, what they want. It guides me to find out how they heard about us so they don't forget that because we need that for our statistics. Did they schedule? When did I tell them that they would have that phone call with Dr. Sheldon, because we do set those up. We schedule those for him. It also has a little guideline here for some helpful stuff and also tells me what to do with those afterwards. Now, for me right now, just to let you know, you can use this for many different things. We use this, first of all, even if they don't schedule. I go through, writing down their name and kind of going through the same type of questions. If they don't schedule because I found out that they don't have any money, that they're looking for, a charity type of case to be taken on, and they say that, I don't have any money, but I really need this, can you take on my case? They have Medicaid, they have a fixed income, they only get $700 in a month, whatever it is. I kind of take the notes off here to the side and write it so I can remember what's going on. I still give that to the girl who's in charge of doing new patient phone calls because she keeps my statistics. So she will keep how many new patients called the office that week. Okay, 20 called because she got this for every single one that called. Only 15 were scheduled because 5 were unqualified. And we keep a log of why they're not qualified. Why? For training purposes. If somebody else is taking over this job or doing it with me, I want to know their reasons for thinking this person is not qualified and correct them on that so that they get better at it. So I want to read their logs on that. And then for those that are accepted and they do go on ahead and get on the schedule, I use this to pass on to the person making the new patient packet. So it gets made and gets mailed out. I give this to the person who's in charge of making those doctor phone calls. We give a list to the doctor that has the information that we've typed into the chart notes as far as the new patient call, why they're coming in, what they want, a little bit of their dental history, their, kind of what any kind of issues and stuff that I find on there that I want to give them a heads up on. And it also has on there their appointment time and date so that he can remind them of that when he calls. So that night he'll sit down and he'll go over he'll call the patient. He'll go over, I see that you're coming in because of this, and anything that he finds in addition to my information, he adds on there, gives it back to the girl in charge of doing the new patient phone calls, and she'll add it to the chart notes. So that has that information on there. So that's why we use this, and that's basically what that is. We have on there, so the next is 10. So you want to scroll down to your number 2 because that's what my check sheet here tells me to do. So go down and find number 2. So 2 is the actual phone script. So for this one, it'll give you the script. How do you flow through it? You do your greeting, you answer the questions, it gives you the demo if they're looking for prices, if they're looking for insurance, how to get them to close and get on the schedule, and every step in here. So it's kind of a guideline. This I have taped to every phone we have in the practice, just in case somebody answers it who's not familiar. Goes to 3, the training videos. So for this one here, it has 3 different videos. It has a video on somebody who's price shopping, somebody who is looking for information, somebody who's apprehensive, somebody who's ready, somebody who's looking for a root canal, because that's your kind of end to say, who told you needed the root canal? Sometimes root canals are not the best options. Maybe you should come in, Dr. Sheldon's specialist. He can tell you if he would recommend a root canal or not. And if not, going to a dental implant, which is the next best thing to a natural tooth. So it goes over all that insurance barriers, all that, so that your staff can just simply click on the video. and it goes
Welcome
through.
to the AIP video. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to answer the phone. How to answer the phone can be extremely important. Um, and there are special situations that your staff encounters every single day.
So going through, you can see
Bridge down the road.
it's a whole
So that's why
video,
it sounds expensive now with an
and we'll go
wow.
through the different scenarios just
It's
to get
Farrell.
through. So it's a nice video on
If
there.
I could grab your mailing address.
So should we go through all the different scenarios to go through? Great, great for training. So then we go through an actual new patient phone call. We do actually this is the webinar. So clicking on these, it brings them right directly to these webinars. It shows you down here, of course, how long it is, so they can decide if it's something that they can take in. Those phone calls are probably about 8 minutes a piece. They're not very long at all. But this will actually go through the webinar, why we do what we do, sample calls on there, different things on a PowerPoint, which is nice to get them through how to answer the call. This is great for staff who's just started. This is great for just starting up your practice. This is great for an established practice to just kind of sharpen the new patient phone calls. When we do our training, when we do the consulting, where we're working one-on-one with your team, whether you hire us for 8 weeks, you hire us for 2 days, you hire us for a year, the very first thing I do is secret calls to your office. I've had so many doctors tell me my staff is the best on the phone, and I do those secret calls and it's bombed. I show you, you're in, they're just shocked that that's the way they're answering the phone, that they don't know some information. So that's the first thing we do. I find out what the problems are, and then I train upon that. The next things that we have on here, so we have, goes through demo calls, it goes through different webinars, and it leads it to the doctor calls so you can find out the information. So everything is on here. I just want you to see that the phone, if you click on phone modules, you have everything right here at your fingertips to train your entire staff on how to answer the phone, to have the material in their hands, the check sheets, the guidelines, everything there, the demo, and you can watch this over and over and over. And what I tell people is once you get through it, then do another secret call. You can do secret calls yourself. You can have your wife, your husband, your neighbor, your friends call and ask some questions and find out, what did you think? Did she make you want to schedule? Does she make you want to come in? The tone needs to be helpful. The tone needs to be excited for them. Get them excited. When I answer a new patient phone call, and I answer them all day long. I love taking new patient phone calls. I love when I first answer it and they're just a bit apprehensive. Sometimes they're a bit rude. Sometimes they're just, they're not giving me all the information. You can tell they're scared. My goal is when I go to hang up, they say, "What is your name again?" "Thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you so much for your help. I was so scared when I called. I'm excited to come in now." That's my goal. I want to get them there because I know they're not going to cancel on me. I know they're already getting ready to budget and accept. I know that they're finally excited about something that has been horrible in their life for so long. Now they're excited about getting a solution to that. So going through this phone module program will give that to your team. If you can't do it yourself, email me on some help. If you still can't do it yourself, have me come to your office for a few days. Have your staff come here for a few days. Hire us on for a year for a custom consulting program and let me implement it into your team. You don't have to do it on your own. Being a member just allows you to have all this material at your fingertips. It doesn't mean that you should or you could or you want to, but it does allow you to have that. The other thing that I have here, let me get out of this library. I also have here something I wanted to show you. This is the IDS monthly member checkup form. Now, I just designed this last week, and I just started to send it, and I let all of you know, because I know we send a lot of email, open up this one. This is great. This is a great extra benefit for you. This is something that you can go over once a month, answer these questions, just copy and paste them back to me in an email, and answer. Let me know the answers to these questions so that I can help you. I can direct you to stuff, material on the IDS library that you can watch, read, see, and help answer these questions. And I can also offer up some information that may help you get through these. So things like, do you feel you're seeing enough new patients per month? Do you think that you could and should be seeing more? What do you feel the barrier is? Let me know what it is, and I can shoot back what I think would help. Because I bet you, for every single one of these, we have gone through what you're going through. So let me share with you what we did to fix it. And it goes on. Are you happy with your current production? Are you happy with your monthly acceptance? Do you feel you need more internal marketing? Do you feel that you have patient upsets, staff drama, low tone? Do you trust your team? Do you think anybody's toxic? Personal concerns. I can help you with every single one of them. You just have to go through here and answer the questions for me, and then I can kick it back to you. For a lot of this, I will also recommend some of the additional services that we offer to our members. I can offer up having your team come here, and I have. Maybe it's an issue where the team is just not getting motivated by these things because they feel like that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, we'll come to our office for a day, sit at our front desk, watch our girls do it, and they go, wow, that really does work. Okay, I see now what you mean. And it really hits in. I love when you guys come to see us for a day. It really does motivate your team and sends them back home to do what we're doing. Same thing with me coming to your office. I come for 2 days. For the first day, I observe. I see what's going on. I see where your outs are. It's not obvious to you because you live it and breathe it every single day. It's obvious to me because I'm an outsider looking in. The second day I spend on training and correcting the things that are working against you, so you can do that. You can purchase consulting calls, a 4-pack for $1,200, 1 hour, and you can use as you want. Use them once a week, use them once a month. Wait till you have something really pressing going on. Let's talk for an hour, 2 hours if you want. Use two at one time, and then we can get through the issues. Or let's do a year of consulting. Let's take every single thing that's in this library and let me teach it to you and your team for an entire year and get it all implemented in. Whatever works best for you, we have something for everyone. So for that, as always, we're always here for any questions that you have. You can email me. I love to see emails come across. I get emails every day from members and office managers and staff members. Let me show you how to use the library. Let me guide you on it. If you have any questions, let me know. Open up that evaluation sheet every single month and let me get through some barriers. It's a great thing if you open it up and answer it and you don't have anything to say. It's great. That's a great place to be. But if you have some things that are pressing, let me help you, guide you to some stuff on the IDS library, and offer up some help on how we can better serve you as one of our members. The next time I do a webinar, I want to do a different module with you. I want to go through the case acceptance one, work through it a little bit more, the organization and communication, which is great for your staff, especially if they're low motivated, especially if they're a little rusty, especially if there's some staff issues going on. It's great to implement some of those. So I'll go through those with you. We'll go through them one by one to see if there's some things that I can help you with that. That's all I have for you for today. You guys have a great day. And like I said, email me if I can help you with anything. Thank you.